welcome to the Ferra Film Podcast. Today I have Tyler and Brandon from Camelot Studio.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
So you guys want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little about your work.
I don't know how to introduce we make short films, kind of. We make features, we make short films, but we have a stupid talk show that's a minute long, but we're not going to talk about that today.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that today, no. That's a secret. If you know, you know. And I'm Brandon. I work alongside Tyler, and
Yeah, the series that you recently dropped, Tether Paw, is actually really good. I recently saw the third one. I actually rewatched it again last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. No, that episode by far is my favorite out of all of them. I love it.
It's, I think, both of our favorites.
Yeah, I'm a little biased because we both wrote it. I like that one the most, but
we come up with a lot of the stories together for those, and that was the one I let Brandon run with, and then we came back and forth a few times, but that was his baby I told him to run with, so that a lot of that can go towards Brandon. I just shot it. I helped with the
revisions and dialogue, because I'm not too good with words sometimes.
I'm not either, so that says a lot.
No.
But
yeah, so I'll continue on that point. So you guys write the script together and you come up with ideas together, right? Or is it like one-on-one, like you take this turn, you take that turn?
It depends. Well, the whole thing started randomly because I was bored and I was at home doing nothing, so I texted Brandon. I was like, hey, want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings? He said, yeah, sure. We went, and we were talking about how much we missed filming because we made 3 movies within the span of 2 years of high school. They range from 45 minutes to 142 minutes, so it was a lot of filming we did. We loved it. It was fun. And when we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, it was a while after not filming anything, so I was like, dude, let's just film something. And let's try to do some cool, serious thing where you're being followed or something. And that turned into the first episode of Tether Paw. And then Brandon and I were going to do some multiple stuff with it. And it kind of changed along the way. Paul, that kind of story evolved a lot.
Yeah, and that episode, the first episode of Tether Paw, honestly, it all was filmed between honestly, it took 2 years to film, honestly, just because the story kept on changing, and it honestly just developed into something even bigger, which is Tether Paw, but it was originally another project, and then we came back and...
Yeah, it was originally just going to be one kind of longish movie with a bunch of different plots, and that it was going to be Brandon's stalker, following him throughout all of it, but that plot kind of just stayed to the first episode, which was cool. But yeah, it took 2 years to finally get it out there, but... We only, when we say 2 years, we didn't film, every week for 2 years.
Yeah, it wasn't constant.
It wasn't, this 26-minute thing. It was, a 2-year work.
It was very sporadic.
We filmed for one day, then a month later we filmed for a day.
Yeah.
And then a year later we filmed for a weekend, and then 6 months later we filmed for a day. It was a lot of sporadicness while we were trying to figure out the rest of them and writing them. And Brandon and I storyboarding, not storyboarding because we don't draw it, but storying.
Kind of just laying out the groundwork for it.
Yeah, and there was a lot of ideas we had that we didn't run with, but kind of satisfied with the ones that we did. I love the first 5 we've put out.
Oh yeah, they were really good. Especially the first one. The first one's a great way to open up the episodes.
I think it really sets the tone. A lot of people I've talked to, it's probably their least favorite so far, which I don't understand. I think my least favorite is probably the clown one, just based off of... It might be a bias. I love the first one. I love the third one. And I like the clown one a lot. But I think I could have done that better. And that kind of rings along in my head.
Tether Paw is it was inspired by Twilight Zone, but we wanted to make it so it's you had to think about what the whole concept was. We didn't want a straight path. We didn't want to a spoonful the plot and the ideas.
I fucking hate when movies just have such a cool concept that gets you thinking, and they just spoon feed all the information at once.
We want people to think what does this mean? Oh wait, how's the ending time with all this? It just. We want people to think and kind of make it them for themselves.
Even if they don't think it makes sense, just think about it a little bit. That's all we want. There doesn't need to be an answer all the time, but for everything we've done so far, there is an answer. It's just kind of hidden away, and you have to think about it. And I think that's the fun part, is thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. Recommend the audience definitely go check out the episode. Everything will be in the description of this podcast. So did the Twilight Zone mainly inspire this?
For a good amount, yes. Okay. The Twilight Zone, it was honestly around the time when the Jordan Peele Twilight Zone episodes are coming out. That's around the time that this whole thing started to take place. Come up with the idea for it and kind of just like start like thinking, hey, we should make this like Tether Paw thing. And
yeah, because I always loved Twilight Zone as a kid. I loved Goosebumps. I loved those kind of cheesy, cliche horror things. And they scared the crap out of me, but, like, I loved watching them no matter what. And I kind of view this as, like, if Goosebumps is for kids and Twilight Zone's for greater thinking, like, adults, young adult kind of thing, Tether Paw's right in the middle. It's juvenile with the swearing a little bit. It's got a bunch of silly ideas and silly plots, but it's old enough where teens would watch it and be like, this is rad, this is cool. And, yeah, it was around the time the Jordan Peele Twilight Zone came out. We wanted to try to do it. But also The Lighthouse came out.
Yes.
And The Lighthouse was fucking great. And I really liked that movie, and I loved how it did the whole black and white thing. But we hadn't seen The Lighthouse when we started filming Tether Paw in general. We filmed most of it before The Lighthouse was even out.
Yeah.
So I think after that came out, I was like, yeah, let's go weird. It just pushed us past that little edge.
Even that reminds me of like the interpreting the ending for yourself, because the ending of The Lighthouse, like even the person who wrote the script doesn't even know.
Yeah, it makes no fucking sense, but I love that movie. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, same here. It's a great movie, honestly.
So good.
So how's this different from creating the work that you have before?
A lot.
Very, very different.
Very, very different. If you don't know us, which I'm assuming people that are listening to this do know us, we made 3 movies. Devin Albino is Devin, Nuts, a John Daly Conspiracy, a Brandon Conley finale, and then we started filming episode 1 of Tether Paw, but shortly after that we filmed a 4th one, Sig City, a Tim Duffy Paradox? Yeah. Forgot the name of my own movie. And we do like these short interview things called the Jeff Minute. They're all very comedic. They have some serious moments to them, but very little in comparison to all the comedic stupid. They start off as like a mockumentary thing, and then they just turn off to like stupid superhero parodies where we take everything from everything. And kind of just us copying what we like for the most part.
And a lot of the jokes are based around like the people that are in the movies. So it's kind of like if you know the people in the movies, then the jokes are pretty funny. And
even if you're not, because I have a friend in Canada
who
who liked those movies, and I was like, how? You don't know any of these people.
These are all like almost inside jokes to our town.
But he's from Canada, so he didn't really like how we portrayed Canada, which it's a funny ongoing joke between me and him. In the movies, we portrayed Canadians, which are known as very nice people who say sorry and everything all the time, as like terrorists, like people that are just stupid.
Not all of them are terrorists.
Not all of them.
But the certain group.
The sect of but if I'm being honest, I don't think any of those people in those movies are from Canada. So
none of them. Actually.
I just think they want to seem nice or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all stupid, so it's so different from what we did before. That was just all stupid fun, but while doing that, we kind of learned what to do and like how to get better. Because if you watch the first one's kind of shit. The second one's also kind of shit, but a better type of shit.
It's a little bit funnier.
It's funnier. It's got a better plot, and then the third one gets better, and then the 4th one gets better too, which Brandon's told me he didn't think we'd get to do better, and I didn't think we'd do better either going forward, because 3 just seemed like, oh my god, this is so good.
The 4th one has great editing. Shout out to Ben Allendorf.
Shout out to Ben Allendorf for a lot, because he's been there since day one, and Tether Paw especially would be nothing without Ben. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, it has great editing, has great special effects. It has, the writing for it it's just so funny, because it's mainly a comedy for like people our age to watch, and it's just funny, and it's like funny fight scenes. It just everything's like so random, and it's
cool to see kids that like acting and doing silly stupid things, like them being superheroes and stuff, which is why I think Tether Paw is cool too, because like seeing your friend acting and like there's 5 of them, or a cult, or there's a clown about to kill them, or there's a gorilla. I don't know, but it's just cool to see your friends doing different things, which I think is a cool little interactive thing for our friends and the people that watch.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have that, progression, because, obviously I've gone off of my short film that was god-awful, and then all the way up to...
Hey, don't beat yourself up, man.
I'm just saying, like, it was like a little short film I did for like a project, but it wasn't really that good. So
everyone's gonna start somewhere, man.
You gotta start somewhere. That's how it goes.
We're on Ferra Films podcast right now, but Brandon Conley's gonna be on Joe Rogan like tomorrow. So
yeah, so
some grow faster than others, but.
So what is the difference then, like creating like a TV series versus movies? Because obviously it's a lot load episodes you gotta do than movies.
Yeah. I honestly, we call them episodes, but it's kind of awkward. When you think of episodes, you think of like a linear storyline that you have to follow. Mm-hmm. I think the good thing you have to think of when you're thinking of Tether Paw is that it's an anthology. You don't need to watch every episode to understand. Of course, it helps, just for the overarching things that could happen. I don't know, but it's just episodes in a way because it's a connected series with similar tones, and it's all like kind of Twilight Zone, Goosebumps, kind of like that cliche horror, old style stuff. But it's really just individual short films. Yeah. It's a different cast each time. It's sometimes a different writer.
Yeah.
It's different, like, sometimes there's a lot of swearing, sometimes there's little swearing, sometimes there's just, I don't know, I think doing this, their episodes and their similar tone and everything, and that's so different from doing the Devon movies where it's the same cast and you have to keep it like as similar, because if people are going to watch the Devon movies, they know what they're signing up for. So we're not going to give them this like Oscar-worthy thing. We're not even going to try to do that. We'll try our best to make it good, but we're not going to try to do anything too crazy with that. But doing this, it's cool because when we do as many as we do, it'll be cool because I think there'll be one for at least each person and one for their type of horror.
And with the movies, it's with the story of the movies, it's to get like the hour and a half like threshold of the time, you need to add like a little some fillers. You need to kind of like elongate the story a little bit. You have to like add like stuff in like roadblocks and stuff like that to make the story like a little bit longer, so it's not as fast paced. But with the episodes, we have to basically just, it's like boom, 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 boom. Like, for some of the scripts, we had to cut some stuff out because the episodes are looking like they were going to be a half an hour long, which was honestly just a little bit too long for our liking. And
yeah, the cap was always probably like 30 minutes, 26 minutes. Like, around that time, I think is good. Yeah. Because if we're being honest, we're making these for like teenage crowd, and they don't have the best retention most of the time. No offense, but you kind of have to like this stuff and be in it to like watch it. And I am so thankful for the people that do watch it, because we're getting okay numbers right now. We got like 800 something for the first one, 700 for the second one. The third one's been out for 4 days, and it has like 300, 400, which is nice. It's like we're not expecting huge things, but we're making them for our friends. We're making them for us. It'll be cool to look back on. So
it's definitely really good to look back on.
Yeah, because imagine
it's
like
really good so far.
You have kids one day, and then you're being like, "Hey, you want to watch something?" And it's freaking just you doing stupid stuff with your friends. Like, I can't imagine the things Devin Albino will be able to show his kids in 5 years from now. But
I remember you telling me that your senior tell us senior project story about the guy who did the movies with his friends, I think, or wanted to do the movies with his friends.
So for my senior project, I kind of cheated. And not actually cheated, but I used the third Devin Albino film, Brandon Conley Finale, as my senior project, and I had a guy that shot commercials and stuff kind of help me with it to do like a fun thing for senior project, so I didn't have to do a lot of work. And a lot of filming could just be hours that I had, and it was cool. But a guy came up to me after my project who was in my room and was like, "I used to make movies with my friends and stuff, and it reminded me of that," and it like touched him a lot that like we were just having fun with it and we were doing a good job. And like awesome. The fact that people can relate to that, like we have the internet now, it will be easier to find these things, which can be a bad thing and a good thing.
It's a bad thing and good thing, but it's out there forever, which is good because like people that like say like that guy, he probably shot those on like VHSs.
Yeah, he told me he doesn't have them anymore, which sucks, dude. Because like if you have so much fun, it'd be cool to relive it. Like I go back sometimes and I watch old stuff that like the Devin movies or whatever. There's certain scenes I'm like, all right, this is funny, or I'm like making conversation with someone that like doesn't know it. I'll be like, hey, I gotta show you something real quick.
It's great looking back at that and like not even just like watching the movie just for how it is, but remembering the mood on the set or the vibe and being like, oh, that was really fun to shoot. I remember everyone was laughing and everyone was having such a good time. It took so long to shoot because we couldn't get a straight face. Or just like, oh, this was so long because it was raining out and we're all wet and cold and we're all just kind of pissed off.
Yeah,
and
it's definitely a mix of both.
It's just like, it's fun. It's fun looking back at that and being like, yeah, this is a really shitty movie that we made, but the memories that we created doing it are a lot better than the actual thing.
Yeah, we made it with our friends. Like, if I was doing this with a bunch of, like, professional actors, I'd probably enjoy it a lot less.
Honestly,
like, it sucks sometimes having, like, I kind of take the boss role when it comes to, like, the stuff just because someone has to. And I hate doing it because I hate telling my friends, like, hey, we've got to do this. Hey, like, blah, 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 like, all that kind of stuff. Because it feels like I'm their boss and some people won't take it right.
Yeah.
And it's all, like, the tone that I use and the tone they use. And sometimes people can get mad. And it's just, we're doing it with our friends. And I think when we think about it at the end of the day, it will be awesome to look back on. And I'm so glad I did it with the group of people that I have because I'm lucky for every single one of them.
Yeah, it's always good to, obviously making short films with your friends is more memorable, honestly. You're not doing it professionally, at least. Well, at least for like, you start, obviously, because everyone should start somewhere, at least. Like using their friends, using their family.
Yeah.
Like Brandon and I, we're not trying to be filmmakers for like life or anything. I'm going to college for something different. He's doing his own thing. Like, we're not doing this to like make millions of dollars and direct Avengers 25 in 3 years. But like, we're just doing it because it's our hobby and we like it. And we're not shooting up meth or anything. We're like pretty good kids doing this fun thing.
Yeah,
like, it's a simple hobby that will grow old and be like, that was cool.
Yeah.
Which will be the thing we look back on, I think.
Yeah. So I'm going to hit you with this question. So what's your episode so far that is out right now?
Which ones are out?
Yeah, so far.
Well, we got Blind Man's Bluff, starring Brandon Conley, Chris Hetu, and Tim Duffy. And then we have The Clown in Condominium 20, starring Dante Driscoll, Patrick Linehan, John Daly, and Isabel Aziz, I think is how you pronounce it. Is burped again. And then The Disciples of Kyros, which stars Paul Sylvia, Devin Delgado, Jack LePage, and Elijah E. Broski. And, those are the ones out right now. But Brandon starred in the first one, which I kind of wanted to get Brandon starring in one out of the way just so he could be behind the scenes helping me more, which would be nice for the future. But we've got 2 more coming out soon. One of them starring Aiden Almeida, and the other one starring Avery Patemry, which will be awesome. I love both of them for different reasons, but Brandon wrote the Aiden Almeida one with me, which is cool.
Now, you guys have any favorites, personal favorites of yours?
Right now, out of ones that are out, like I said, I'm biased for Blind Man's Bluff a little bit, and then Kyros is good. I think it's the best acted. I think the music is great. Ben Allendorf always knocks it out of the park.
Yep.
Yeah, music is killer.
Like, the fact that I told him, hey, do this old style stuff, and he hasn't run out of ideas yet. I would have ran out of ideas like so long ago. And the fact that he keeps grinding, and I tell him like, yeah, let's do this, let's do that, and he doesn't bitch back to me about it. It's cool, and that he has a good mindset about it, and I'll appreciate that going forward. But you haven't seen 4 or 5 yet, Brandon, right?
No, I've seen clips. I've been there for some shooting days and stuff like that, but because I wasn't too heavily involved with the writing process or like producing it, I just wasn't there.
Yeah. I think 4 is something special, and I think 5 has some real shock value that I think will be cool. They're all different types of horror, so it's like a different thing that could absolutely fail, like doing it, and that's okay because we'll learn from it.
Yep.
If people don't like one kind of horror, one kind of style, we don't have to do it anymore. We want to try all different types of things, but yeah.
So what were the most challenging thing while making this?
I think, honestly, I would think just we still want to reuse like certain actors and actresses and stuff like that, and honestly, just trying to like find people to act in our stuff is, I mean, it's difficult because you need to find someone who is comfortable on camera, who maybe has prior acting experience. Like we're not looking for like
someone that won't be shit.
Yeah, like Chris Pratt or something like that. We're just looking for someone who's just like, I don't know, like comfortable in front of the camera, like I said. And honestly, I think also just trying to find a good set is difficult because we only have limited like places to shoot. Yeah. And like one time we fell short on a shooting set, so we had to like resort to my garage. And I mean,
but honestly, I couldn't imagine it any other way now.
Me neither.
It turned out super well, and like we've had other actors even like doing roles before, and then they've had to drop out, or maybe just like it didn't work out because of COVID, because some people aren't comfortable with that, and we're pretty careful when it comes to that. If anyone feels sick at all, do not come to filming that day. But
we had to rewrite the script because of that, and Disciples of Kyros.
Yeah, but what was I gonna say? No, we've had to recast a few times. Just like when we were writing it, you imagine different persons sometimes.
Yeah, like I wrote it like specifically for like in the Disciples of Kyros, Jay was supposed to be someone else, and I wrote them for that person. And then we had Jack LePage step in for them, and honestly, now I can't imagine it any other way.
Jack knocked it out of the park.
Jack did very well.
Everyone I talked to loves Jack in that episode. Paul does great, Elijah, especially the mustache. Yeah. I didn't, like, that was a kind of behind your back thing that I did. I told Jack when he was at my house, and I was just like, hey, you should wear a but you should grow a mustache for it. Because he was going to shave his whole beard. And I was like, honestly, keep the stash and see what Brandon thinks.
I was fine with it. I remember telling him, hey, like, if you're gonna keep the mustache, remember we're shooting this.
You're gonna have to keep it.
We're shooting this like every 2 weeks on a Sunday, and I know you can't grow that stash that thick in 2 weeks, so you need to keep the stash for probably 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to trim it or something if you don't want it to like get too crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hardest thing so far is probably not so far because we have a great cast for these 5, and it's all our friends, and like we haven't felt short where we're like, oh my god, we need someone. What are we gonna do? But I think going forward, with however amount we decide to do in the future, I think at a certain point we're gonna be like, crap, who can we use?
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out when we get there.
Yep.
Now, how often you guys were filming this, like this whole Tether Paw thing?
Well, we filmed episode 1 first, and then we filmed the clown one second, and then we filmed the 5th one third, and then we filmed the 4th one 4th, and then the Kiros one was the last one we filmed. Kiros is the most recent one, the one that just came out, and the most recent one that we actually filmed. But individually we did, this is what I would try to do. We can film 1 day a week, or we can do 1 day every 2 weeks and film more stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to overload someone every single week with a bunch of work just to get it done fast.
Yeah, like instead of spending like an hour or 2 each week, we would spend like 3 or 4 hours every 2 weeks and knock out. Like I remember one of the first filming days of Disciples of Kiros, we did like 3 or 4 hours every 2 weeks, and we filmed probably 7 or 8 pages in that 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
And that was like a fourth of the script right there. And then we use the same set and stuff like that.
But then some people just get really tired doing those long days. So I'm like, hey, I asked the main actors, I'm like, what would you want to do? Would you want to do 1 day a week and do like smaller hours, or 1 day every 2 weeks and do longer hours? And it depends. Because if people's schedules are crazy and they have 1 day off, then maybe a longer hour would work just so we do it in bigger chunks. But if you're more free, the 1 day a week thing, it works really well because then it gives people time to think. And yeah, I'm glad we don't rush it. I'm glad we have that system.
Yeah.
So, favorite behind the scene moments that you guys can say?
That we can say.
I'm trying. Oh yeah.
The New Hampshire thing comes to my mind.
New Hampshire. Yeah, New Hampshire was fun. Let's see. I mean, I was only on set twice out of these 2 episodes. I'm trying to think of the.
The other ones?
Well, yeah, for the other ones I wasn't really on set.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with New Hampshire just because we filmed Blind Man's Bluff. They go on like a kind of weekend getaway or whatever they're trying to do to a house in New Hampshire, and the house is like my family vacation house in New Hampshire. So me, Brandon, Chrissy, Tim Duffy, and Dante Driscoll all went to this house and stayed for like 3-ish days and filmed, and we just had fun. We hung out and filmed, and I think that was cool just because it was like a getaway kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like a vacation, but then like we set aside like a night, but like also kind of part of the day. Like we filmed the day scenes when we had to, but then most of the scenes up there happened at night. So we just like set aside one night. I think it was the night before we left, and we were like, all right, let's just bang all this out, and then we just.
Well, we did two nights. One night we didn't do a lot.
Yeah.
One night we did just basically the shot where it's all muffled sound and stuff. We did that shot, and then we were like, okay, we'll stop and do the rest another night. But yeah, we filmed late that night. We filmed till like 1 or 2 in the morning. But yeah, that's probably my favorite. I would love to do that again. Like get some guys and just go film some stupid crap. I don't know, not crap, but you know what I mean.
So any advice for people that are listeners right now about creating like a series or just creating something?
Creating something.
I'd say just write up a script and then just try to film it. We started those first 3 movies we were talking about. Two of them were filmed on iPhones, and not even like the iPhone like X or whatever like the new one is. They're filmed on like my iPhone 5 when I had it.
Quality was not as good as it could be now with
not,
iPhone.
But it was still fun as heck to film them. I'd say just go do it.
I agree with that, but I have something different.
Okay.
I think you just gotta do what you love to do, and you can't listen to any people that are like, dude, shut up, don't do that, like, don't waste your time, because, like, I'm not a fan of people that just hate for no reason just to hate.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's just super rude and super disrespectful. And not gonna lie, I used to kind of be like that. I used to be just rude and just off-putting when it comes to like people following their dreams. And I've kind of grown to know that even though this isn't our dream, it's a hobby. Like it sucks when people like put it down. If people like just say rude things about me, Brandon, like anything, it's just we're putting our work into it. Like, so if you put your work into it and you're proud of it, don't let anyone saying bad things like affect you. Because I've had people say bad things about the Devin movies, Jeff Minute, like Tether Paw, anything, and you're just gonna listen to all the good instead. Because there's a difference between criticism and pure like rude hatred. Yeah. And always take criticism. That's the one thing you gotta learn is people that try to criticize you most of the time, if they're being nice about it, they're being nice about it. Like, it's all about the tone when it comes to like criticism and when people talk to you about that sort of stuff. So if you can know the difference between criticism and just people being rude and being like, this sucks, like, dislike, blah, blah, blah. Not that that's a bad thing either, because, like, there's going to be people that won't like your stuff no matter what. Yep. But just don't let it get to you. That's the big thing, because people out there are just rude, and they're going to put you down. So just be prepared for that, and just listen to your parents who say it's great, or your friends that love it and send you a bunch of paragraphs, or your sister who likes it that's critical or whatever, and just, I don't know, listen to all the good. That's what I gotta say.
Like, make it for the people that enjoy your content, not for the people that hate it. So don't, like, listen to them be like, oh, maybe I should change this because they don't like anything I do. Like, just make it for the people that enjoy your content, and then just ignore the people that are genuinely just hating on it and doing everything.
Yeah, also, if you're trying to make a short film and you're doing multiple of them, not all of them have to be dope. Like, you can get better. Like, with Tether Paw, if we do a lot of them, there's gonna be some of them that we just dislike more than others.
They're likely to be duds.
Like I said, I like all of the ones we've done in season 1 so far. The first 5, I'll just refer to them as season 1. Yeah. And there's like 2 of them where I like them less than the other 3. But that's not because I don't like them, because there's certain scenes I like from them. There's certain scenes from the ones I really like that I don't like. It's just, you gotta pick and choose what you like, what you don't, and improve and pick what you want to do with the next one, because you'll get some duds here and there. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. Just run with it. Find the stuff you liked, find the stuff you did good, and pick up that crap and improve. I don't know.
Now, how many people help you create this, like for actors or any people that work at Camelot?
Okay, Brandon and I have come up with the stories and written all of them. This chunk, the first 5. Ben Allendorf is awesome. He helps me. I usually send him the scripts that I have and stuff. And then what I do is I'm the cinematographer / director kind of person. I film it, I'm the camera guy, and then I put together a rough cut of the edit. And then I give it over to Ben Allendorf, who then makes a finer, more professional cut of it, which is fairly easy sometimes for him, but then when there's more difficult scenes, it can be a little more difficult. And then Ben will take that, and I'll kind of tell him what vibe I'm feeling for the music. Sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I don't know. Just make it suspenseful. And Ben will be like, okay, and then run with it. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, change this, change that. He'll be like, oh, yeah. Mainly the stages where it's pre-production, I work with Brandon. Where it's post-production, I work with Ben a lot. And then once it's done or about to be done, then I go back to Brandon and I talk to Brandon about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you'll get like a second opinion, so it's not like an echo chamber with you. You're not like, oh,
because if I think something's great and you don't,
that
needs to be talked about.
Like you might you might see something away, and then like you send it to me, and I'm like, well, what about this? And you're like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. It would be better that way, or vice versa, and stuff like that.
Yeah, like with the Kiros thing, too. Ben Allendorf edited a scene for it, added music to it and everything, but Brandon said, add this one thing, and the thing Brandon said to add that I didn't think of made it better. And I go back to that scene, I'm like, that's pretty good. Good on Brandon for saying that, because I wouldn't have thought about that. But, yeah, there's Ben, and then there's some people, like, when the episodes are basically done, I'll send them a link to the video to watch it. Some people just like kind of random people that I know they're not like dick riders or anything, where they'll just be like, yeah, it's great. Like, I won't send it to my mom, but I'll send it to a few friends that will like criticize it and tell me what they like, what they don't like, because I think that's important for the edit, especially.
It's very important.
And to learn your craft and just what you like to do, and if it can be changed and be like messed with and made better, send it to people and see what they think, because I think that's important.
Especially when you are the one making it, it's very hard to see things that are possibly wrong with it, and like say with like audio issues and stuff, you may know the lines in the script. So when you look at, like, when you watch it, you know what the lines are, so you don't think, oh, the audio is bad, because you know what the lines are, so you know what they're saying. But say if someone from, like, a third-party perspective watches it, they could be like, oh, I have no idea what he's saying because the audio is screwed right here. But, like, you thought it was fine. It's like, oh, okay, we can fix that.
Yeah.
Because...
And that's the exact same we had with Kiros, too. Someone was like, oh, can we turn up the audio for one part? And I was like, yeah. So we turned up some lines and just the volume of it. But it's because we're unprofessional, kind of. We have this little soccer mom camera that I have no external mic. I have one now that we're going to do when we do the next batch of them. And I just got a stabilizer, too, so it won't be as much shaky cam. Which I think the shaky cam gets better as it goes on.
The shaky cam can be used in certain aspects.
In certain aspects, yeah. Because I think in Blind Man's Bluff, the shaky cam works. That's the tone. It's all, like, unsettling. But then for Kiros, it's less shaky cam, which I think is, like, the tone of it. It's more of, like, an actual, like, story where Paul might be uncertain or scared of certain things, but it's not necessarily, like, that tone. Which all of them, they're, like, the same tone where it comes to, like, spooky, scary, black and white kind of thing, but... the characters and the way they act and the way they feel aren't exactly the same every time, which I think is important to showcase with that kind of stuff. But yeah, that kind of stuff where it's like, you know what the script says, but this person doesn't, so they don't know, is important. Because there's a part in the Kiros episode where we show Elijah's necklace, which has a symbol on it. Elijah's like in the Disciples, which is like a Jehovah's Witness type cult. And at one point, another character shows the same symbol on a ring. So we wanted to make sure that they put the 2 and 2 together, that these two guys are in the cult together. And we got that exact reaction, which we were like, whoof, thank God.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't understand that, we would have been like, oh no, what to do? But it worked out, so it's that kind of stuff too.
So, favorite movies you guys have?
Oh, God.
Stuffy.
I have a list of favorite movies,
Same.
but like that fluctuates so much because I'll see a movie I really like and I'm like, damn, that's like my favorite, but I don't know.
I have a pretty set list. It's
you go first.
I'll just list off like my top like 3, in no particular order. The Dark Knight, We Were Soldiers, and Gladiator. Those are my absolute favorite movies. I could watch them. I know the lines in them. It's been watching them since I was a kid. It's absolute favorite.
All right, so since you said 3, I'm gonna probably try to say 3.
Yeah, say 3. Just don't. Yeah.
I'll go with The Notebook. I'm trying to think of a meme to say. All right, I'm actually gonna be real. I'm gonna say The Shining, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and fuck, I'm gonna say Watchmen. Zack Snyder's Watchmen. I really like the style of that. And like Lion King, Into the Spider-Verse. I could say more, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, I got a list too. Yeah, there's a lot of good movies, so I mean, it's a good list so far, guys.
I hate when people like, when there's like a silly movie, like I love Batman versus Superman, but it didn't get good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Like if I tell people I like that, they'll be like, oh, your opinion doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Which is like, dude, shut up.
Also, you don't want movies in your list that
it's fiction.
Well, I was gonna say you don't want movies in your list that are like super like indie, where like people are like, oh, you're that kind of person.
You're a cinephile.
Oh yeah, you just want to be different.
Or when you say The Dark Knight, they go, oh, you're a dude, bro. Or like when you have Fight Club in your list, you have a Fight Club poster above your bed or something.
Yeah.
Nah, stop judging what people's favorite films are, man.
Yeah.
Just let them like what they like.
So, is there any people that inspire you guys? Like,
I'll let you go first. I got a few.
You go first since I gotta think.
Well, to be fair, Devin Albino inspires me in so many ways. If it weren't for Devin Albino and his sheer stupidity, I would not have made 3 and kind of 4 films about him. And I wouldn't have made a stupid talk show with Brandon. I wouldn't have made these Tether Paws, and I wouldn't be where I am now and found a hobby that I will grow old with. So, Devin Albino, no matter how much kind of mockumentary crap I put you through, I am grateful for you because you unlocked something in me that some people might hate, but I love, and I think Brandon loves the fact that we could do what we do now too. Same thing. I'm not. People don't inspire me. I feel like I'm grateful for people, and because I'm grateful, they inspire me. Like Ben Allendorf, grateful for. He's my rock with this crap. It helps a lot. Brandon, same thing. I can run everything by him. Devin, same thing. I'm grateful, inspired by all the actors that put in so much work, because if they didn't put in the performances, it wouldn't make me want to, like, Paul does a great job when he acts. Jack does a great job. Brandon, Chris Hitu, they all do great jobs when they act. And it inspires me to be like, holy crap, that's a good acted scene. I want to do more stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the people around me inspire me to be a better person, better like filmmaker, better all these things, which is just I think is cool. Like I don't look up to a celebrity.
No, that's good
I don't look up to Chris Pratt. I don't look up to Josh Brolin, who I'm pretty sure beat his wife. Don't quote me on that. Mel Gibson, I'll say him instead.
We Were Soldiers.
was he in We Were Soldiers?
Yeah, he's a lead actor, and I think he directed it.
Oh well, Brandon's canceled.
Yeah, it's fine. He makes good movies. I don't care about his personal life.
There's a thing for separating the art from the artist.
I'm a good fan. I'm a big fan.
Kevin
of
Spacey's a piece of shit, but he's been in some pretty good movies.
Yeah,
he's been
like
in
Baby
Seven,
Driver is very
Baby
good.
Driver, yeah, and I'm trying to think of another shitty actor, but I'm not gonna keep going with that rant.
I'd say I'm not inspired by a certain person, but by like things that people have made. Like I'll see things on like YouTube. I'll just watch movies, and I'm like, I'll see a certain scene, and I'm like, that scene right there. Like I think maybe for Disciples of Kyros, when I was writing it, I think I might have saw a certain scene in like on like YouTube, or I saw like how someone like shot something, and I was like, hey, I'm doing that exact same thing. I'm not gonna copy them, but I'm inspired by that to do it that like in their like in that unique way.
Oh yeah, because like when you guys drive to the vacation house in Blind Man's Bluff, I watched The Shining. I'm like, okay, that's dope. It sets the mood. I didn't copy The Shining because it's nothing like it at all. I show shots of you guys' faces and just the car mirror and stuff, but like it sparked the idea in my mind. Oh yeah, I should show them driving to the house, and like them pulling up would be cool. So like it's small stuff like that. I totally agree. And also the crappy stuff. Like I bet your parents inspire you, right? Your dad wakes up in the morning, gives you a punch in the face, and then you're like, you know what? I'm gonna wake up.
Yeah.
You know, my mom did the same to me. So.
I got one final question, and then we'll wrap it up. So what are you guys planning for the future? Like for Camelot Studio or whatever?
For Camelot Studios?
Yeah.
Well, we love doing Tether Paw, I think. And I want to do more of them. We have a few ideas for like at least 5 more. So I think we want to come up with another batch of them. We've released 3 so far with great reactions from all 3 of them. I hope that the same will go for the other 2. And depending on if the reactions are good enough for the next 2 that we come out with, I would love to do more. And I would love to do more beyond that too. But since this is just a hobby and not like a career path we're doing, I'm going to end on a high note. So maybe we'll see when we get there. But I think we want to do more of this. It's a serious kind of thing that I think we've both fallen in love with. The serious topics, and not even topics because they're campfire stories, but they're awesome, and I think I want to do more campfire stories.
It's fun. I want to do more of these, and maybe like once like these are done, maybe we'll like, hey, we have another idea for this, and then we'll follow that idea. But for right now, I just want to release the next 5 eventually. Like work on those right now.
Yeah. Because I already have some scripts. We've already asked some people if they want to be in them. So, like, we're going to do them.
It's going to take a while to get them out, but it's going to...
What I want to do is I want to try different types of horror. Like, Blind Man's Bluff is a different type of horror.
Yeah.
Quote-unquote horror.
It makes you
and then Clown is a different thing. Kyros is a different thing. So is the next 2. And that's what I want to try to do. I want to try to do different types of stuff and not just do all this cookie-cutter stuff. But, yeah. We want to do more of this, I think.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's it for the Ferra Film Podcast. Thank you guys so much for coming on. It was a pleasure having you on.
Of course, man. Can I shout out someone real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Shout out to Mitchell Gilbert. That's all I have to say. Thanks, Mitchell.
Thanks, Mitchell.